Okay, Matt, we're a few days now to kind of digest what's taken place. But when you take a look back at this season, from the beginning of the year to the way this team progressed, took on your challenge at the All-Star break, and we sit here now, and it's a few points short. Probably we're out of here then sooner than we would like. But what do you look at your team and say to them? Just how proud are you of the way that they've grown over the course of this journey?
First, it's an empty feeling. It feels like there's something unfulfilled, at the end of a journey together. When you look back at the way that we started, with all of the growth that needed to happen and the absence of results, and then you kind of almost flip a record after the All-Star break, there certainly was a lot of growth. And one of our objectives this year is just to become the best team at getting better. And we put ourselves behind the eight ball to start the year from a wins and loss perspective. We gave ourselves a fighting chance at the end, and we're able to push into that playoff push for quite a while. And it was impressive to watch the guys grow. But again, we feel like there's an empty feeling at the end.
One of the interesting things from all the interviews we did today was hearing from Roland McEwen and him saying, when I got here, it felt like we hoped to win. By the time we got to the end, we expected to win. Did you feel that same way, the way this team, part of that growth in the way this group was in? I
think about my journey here over 2 years and where the team was before I got started. And I was thinking back to my first year at the beginning, and I'm just thinking, how the heck could we ever even find a way to win? And there was so much growth that needed to happen in our group. And I felt the exact same way throughout our season this year, where there were times at the beginning of the season where I'm just not quite sure how it can happen on paper. We felt outmatched as far as where we were as a group. But then there was like, okay, if we can just accomplish X, Y, and Z, we're going to have a real good chance tonight. By the end of the year, it's like it doesn't matter who we're up against. You just stand on the bench and you're like, yeah, we're going to win tonight. That's what's going to happen. And I can't even imagine it in another way. And the guys have earned that feeling because of their growth.
Culture was another big buzzword coming into the season and throughout the year. What did that leadership group do for this team inside that locker room, and to bring together? It's another young group that you had to lead, but it seemed like you had some guys that were here to build an expectation inside that locker room.
Incredibly grateful for the leadership group that we had this year. From obviously our captains, but there's some guys around as well that didn't wear letters. We have guys that were in their second years in their contract that I would consider leaders on our team. And the strength of our team this year was our team. It was the way that the group was together. It was the way that they acted together, the way they cared about each other, the way they played together. And it's because of, our core, our leadership group that we were able to get to that place. And identity produces behavior. We felt like a lot of who we are came out in what we do on the ice.
You had a handful of new guys last year, youngsters that came into their first years, and in the second year. Was there anybody that kind of stood out in terms of growth? It can even just young guys from this season, their first years into where they're at, that kind of stands out to you.
It feels like it's a mistake to name one in the growth category because we've got so many young players. But off the top of my head, just watching Nikita Nesterenko's growth over the last years has been really fun. Just thinking where he started and how much he had to learn, and then watching him go up and spend a considerable amount of time finishing the year with the Ducks was really cool. Tristan Luneau, how can you say enough about his season? From start to finish, he started up. It wasn't quite time for him yet. And then as he came down, there was plenty to learn about the American Hockey League. And as he grabbed on to the themes he was working on, his game just took off. And to be named to the all-rookie team is quite impressive.
You're going to have a lot of this group back next season. Do you feel the expectations will be even that much higher for this team when you move forward, especially it being your third year at the helm of this group?
The expectations are already higher. Year ones are year twos are year threes, and you can put me in that group as well. Not making the playoffs isn't an option. We'll make sure that we're playing into the postseason.
We saw a good look at America's Finest Fans at last kind of send-off Saturday night. Is there a message to the fan base? A lot of these guys got a good feel into talking about how that place can be, how electric it can be, whether it's a Wednesday or a Friday or a Saturday with a big theme giveaway or whatever it may be. But a message to America's finest fans of what can they expect moving forward, especially that you've established this brand of Gulls hockey.
I think the message to the fans is pretty simple. Thank you for the support. Hasn't been as many wins as we would like, but the fans can obviously see the momentum that's here. And we're so grateful for the loyal fans that are with us through all of it and constantly supportive. When you see a full building that's extremely loud, the only thing on my mind is how fun this is going to feel when we're playing playoff hockey.